Hello everybody, my name is Maso91 and this is World of Tanks Blitz. In front of us we have the tier 7 medium tank from the Japanese tech tree, Chiri. Now, although the Chiri is a very formidable tank, no matter that it has some problems with the armor, and I'm going to talk about that, I like this vehicle. And again, it's a very formidable tank. Now, the reason for this is the gun, the view range, and also the fact that this thing has an autoloading mechanism. But now, first let's begin with the armor. The vehicle has total amount of life points 250. Frontal armor of the turret and the hull 75 millimeters, which isn't very good because, well, pretty much the anglement of the armor is, well, it isn't very good, to be honest. The side armor of the hull is 35 millimeters, which is very bad, and the side armor of the turret is 50 millimeters, which also is bad. The rear armor is of the turret again 50 millimeters, which again is bad, and the rear of the tank has only 35 millimeters of armor thickness, which again is very bad. The vehicle weighs only 41.83 tons, but also has a very powerful 632.5 brake horsepower engine. Just for a sec, let's check. Yep, this is the last engine. Which will give you as a result 42 kilometers an hour top speed, which isn't very bad. The traverse of the hull, it isn't very bad as also, and from my perspective of view, it leans towards very good, 48.16 degrees per second traverse speed of the hull, which for a vehicle which has 41, nearly 42 tons of weight, it isn't very bad. Also, the climbing rate of this thing, it isn't very bad at all, and the turret traverse speed is 44.67 degrees per second, which in my book is 45 degrees per second. Which, if you have, let's say it, a very maneuverable target like, or very fast target like the Hellcat or the E25, well, only with combining the traverse speed of the turret and the hull, you can overmatch even their speed, which it isn't bad at all. The view range is very nice, also 296.3 meters, which, well, combined with the very accurate gun, which also has an autoloading system, well, you get the idea. Now, as I'm talking for the gun has very nice dispersion, only 0.287, excuse me, at 100 meters, which for all intents and purposes, yes, is 0.3 in my book, but it's only 0.3. So we're going into anti-tank category here. Also, because of the auto-loading system, we have rate of fire of 16.57 7 shells per minute, which is pretty much an automatic cannon with a very high rate of fire for World War II technology. The aiming time is 3.7 seconds, which is very nice also. Yes, you will have only 3 shells per mag, and the reloading time between each shell is only 1 second. But if you have the guts, you can fire your first shell, wait a bit for the aiming circle to shrink, fire the second shell, after this fire the third shell, and you will deal a pretty nice amount of damage. Now, the reloading time for each mag is a bit, bad, 8.86 seconds, but it's autoloader, it has to have at least one bad thing. Now, the average penetration and damage also it isn't very bad for tier 7 medium tank, which is very poorly armored. For the armor piercing, you will have 155 millimeters of pen on average, and on average 160 damage, which again it isn't very bad. And also if you penetrate with the full magazine, this will be a very very bad news for somebody in the receiving end. If you need to, well, load some kind of gold ammo, yes, wargaming, for me this still is a gold ammo, or in this case improved armor piercing ammo. Your average pen will be 186 millimeters, but your average damage will be 135, and this isn't good. Some of you will say, with only 25 damage less, I don't care, but let's say it like that. These 25 damage will be needed in some games and situations. The high explosive, well, keep in mind this is a 75mm gun, if I'm not mistaken. Just for a sec. Yes, 75mm gun. The high explosive, it isn't very powerful, only 38mm of penetration and only 200 damage on average, but let's set like that. If you have a Rheinmetall Bosek in front of you, or the Type 62, or the Speerpanzer 1, load the high explosive and unleash the hell. These light armored vehicles most likely won't be able to withstand 3 shells from the Chiri without any problems. In most of the cases you will combust some of them at least once, and also you will be able to deal pretty nice amount of damage also. So I think it's worth it to have 50-50 shell division between the AP and the high explosive. My personal opinion again about the Chiri is this: very formidable tank. Do not underestimate the Chiri. The Chiri can and will enhance a skilled player. I'm sorry, will snuff you out without any remorse. Um, Now, if you are, let's say it like that, with IS tank or Panther or a Tiger, load the high explosive and fire. Most likely from the sides you will penetrate the Chiri without any kind of problems in the hull. Now for weak spots, I think all of us which play World of Tanks Blitz know pretty well that the weakest spot on the Chiri, if you do not see the turret and the hull, is the commander's hatch. Now, if you see the turret and the hull, well, if you have any kind of problems penetrating the Chiri, you're maybe tier 6, which also is a stock tank, maybe, possibly, or in a felt platoon tier 6, tier 5, which somehow ended up in tier 7 match, which isn't very good for you. Now for all KV2 players, yes, you can one-shot the Chiri. So this is my personal opinion. Battle replays will be uploaded shortly after until the end of the next week. I hope you all will enjoy this video. If this is the case, please show me some love. Maxo91, have a nice day and bye bye.